Did you know that Brazil is home to the largest rainforest on the planet, producing 1/5 of the world's oxygen? That in its northeast lies a white sand desert which, during the rainy season, transforms into thousands of turquoise lagoons, creating a one-of-a-kind landscape known as the Lençóis Maranhenses? Or that beneath its surface lies the largest underground freshwater reserve on Earth, capable of supplying all of humanity for centuries. Brazil is much more than samba and soccer. It is a land of colossal rivers, natural wonders, and hidden geographic secrets few people know. Get ready because today you'll discover 50 astonishing facts about Brazil that will change the way you see this extraordinary country. 50. The Amazon River isn't just the biggest, it might be the longest. The Amazon River is best known for carrying more water than the next 7 largest rivers combined, but what many people don't know is that it may also actually be the longest river in the world. For decades, the Nile held that crown, but more recent expeditions, especially those that traced remote Andean tributaries all the way to the source, suggest the Amazon could stretch beyond 6,800 kilometers. What makes this even more astonishing is how drastically the river transforms as it cuts across Brazil, from a braided network of muddy channels in the western Amazon to a singular ocean-like expanse near the Atlantic. Some sections are so wide that you cannot see the opposite bank, and tides from the Atlantic travel more than 800 kilometers upstream. The Amazon isn't just a river, it's a geographical force that shaped, and continues to shape, an entire continent. 49. The Amazon rainforest produces flying rivers in the sky. Above the canopy of the Amazon rainforest is an invisible phenomenon known as flying rivers, streams of atmospheric moisture so dense they move comparable volumes of water to actual rivers on the ground. Trees release immense quantities of water vapor through transpiration, creating air currents that carry moisture south and southeast across Brazil. These vapor rivers influence rainfall patterns in cities like Sao Paulo and Rio de Janeiro and even affect agricultural output across the entire South American continent. Without the rainforest's constant moisture pumping, the interior of Brazil would be much more arid. This system is so powerful that Amazonian humidity can sometimes travel all the way to the Andes before being pushed back toward the center of the country. 48. Rio de Janeiro is surrounded by the world's largest urban forest. Few cities on Earth balance raw nature and urban living like Rio de Janeiro. Rising behind the city's skyscrapers and favelas is Tijuca Forest, the largest urban forest in the world. What's incredible is that Tijuca wasn't entirely natural. Most of it is a massive reforestation project started in the 19th century after coffee plantations caused intense environmental damage. Today, the forest contains waterfalls, monkeys, secret trails, and granite peaks like the famous Pedra da Gávea. Its proximity to Rio's beaches and neighborhoods creates one of the most dramatic city landscapes in the world, where dense jungle meets high-rise living. The forest also protects the city's microclimate, moderating temperatures and helping maintain Rio's surprisingly lush green appearance. 47. The Pantanal is the largest tropical wetland on Earth. While the Amazon gets the global spotlight, the Pantanal, shared by Brazil, Bolivia, and Paraguay, is a completely different natural marvel. Covering an area larger than England, it has the highest concentration of wildlife in the Americas. It's also a seasonal floodplain, meaning that during the rainy season, up to 80% of it becomes submerged under shallow water. This cyclical flooding creates a mosaic of lakes, marshes, and islands that attract everything from giant otters to jaguars. In fact, the Pantanal is one of the best places in the world to see wild jaguars during the day, something extremely rare in rainforest environments. Because of its open landscape, wildlife viewing is far easier here than in the Amazon, but few travelers know it exists. 46. Fernando de Noronha has some of the clearest waters in the world. Far from Brazil's coast lies an archipelago that looks like it belongs in a travel magazine, Fernando de Noronha. Its waters are famously transparent. Visibility can exceed 50 meters, allowing divers to see sea turtles, rays, dolphins, and volcanic formations without distortion. Geological isolation is partly responsible, but so is strict conservation. Visitor numbers are limited, and nearly the entire island group is protected as a national marine park. The archipelago is home to the world's largest known population of resident spinner dolphins, which perform daily acrobatic jumps near Baía dos Golfinhos. Noronha is a rare example of a destination where tourism, geography, and conservation align nearly perfectly. Before continuing, be sure to subscribe and leave a like to become an expert on the geography of our world. 45. Brazil has one of the longest coastlines in the world, stretching more than 7,490 kilometers along the Atlantic. Brazil's coastline is among the longest of any nation and touches nearly every type of marine environment. From the mangroves of Maranhão to the rugged granite headlands of Santa Catarina and the tropical coral reefs of Bahia, the diversity is immense. The coast helps shape Brazilian cuisine, culture, and even urban development. Many of the country's largest cities, including Rio de Janeiro, Salvador, Recife, and Fortaleza, grew around natural harbors or sheltered bays. The coastline's length also means Brazil hosts countless microclimates and ecosystems, many of which are found nowhere else on Earth. 44. Iguazu Falls are wider than Victoria Falls. Located on the border with Argentina, Iguazu Falls form a semicircle of 275 separate cascades stretching nearly 2.7 kilometers, making them one of the widest waterfall systems in the world. The sheer scale is overwhelming. You hear the falls long before you see them. The most dramatic section, the Devil's Throat, drops 82 meters into a cloud of mist so dense it creates permanent rainbows. While Niagara Falls is known for its power and Victoria Falls for its width, Iguazu manages to combine size, beauty, and biodiversity unlike any other waterfall on Earth. The protected rainforest around the falls is packed with wildlife, including toucans and coatimundus that roam freely around the visitor paths. 43. Brazil has a desert with moving sand dunes and seasonal lagoons. In the northeast lies one of Brazil's most surreal landscapes, Lençóis Maranhenses National Park. At first glance, it looks like a pure desert of rolling white dunes. But unlike true deserts, Lençóis experiences a heavy, rainy season that fills the valleys between dunes with crystal clear turquoise lagoons. These lagoons appear for only a few months each year before evaporating. The dunes themselves migrate slowly due to strong winds from the Atlantic, creating a landscape that changes annually. This combination of sand and water is so unique that no other place on Earth has the same geological pattern. 42. The Cerrado is a savanna richer than many rainforests. Often overshadowed by the Amazon, the Cerrado is a massive tropical savanna that covers central Brazil. Though it looks dry and sparse at first glance, it's actually one of the most biodiverse savannas on the planet, hosting more than 12,000 plant species, many found nowhere else. The region is also home to unique animals such as the maned wolf, giant anteater, and the rare Cerrado fox. The Cerrado is ancient, older than the Amazon in geological terms, and scientists believe it may have acted as a refuge for species during past climate shifts. Despite its importance, it is one of the most threatened ecosystems in Brazil due to agricultural expansion. 41. The Serra do Mar Mountains create Brazil's dramatic coastal cliffs. Running parallel to Brazil's southeastern coast, the Serra do Mar is a massive mountain range that rises abruptly from the Atlantic, creating steep cliffs and rainforest-covered slopes. This unique topography gives regions like Rio de Janeiro and Sao Paulo their dramatic landscapes. Beaches squeezed between towering mountains and dense jungle. The mountains also trap moisture, contributing to some of the highest rainfall totals in Brazil. The Atlantic forest ecosystem that blankets the range is one of the most endangered in the world, but pockets of untouched jungle remain, harboring rare species like the golden lion tamarin. 40. The São Francisco River is a lifeline for the Northeast. Known as the River of National Integration, the São Francisco River flows for more than 3,000 kilometers through some of Brazil's driest regions. For centuries, it has served as the main source of water for agriculture and settlements across the semi-arid Northeast. The river's canyons, especially the dramatic Xingu Canyon, are a testament to the immense geological forces that once shaped this region. Large-scale water diversion projects now carry São Francisco's water into areas that previously suffered from chronic drought, transforming farming and local economies across multiple states. 39. Brasilia's layout was designed to look like an airplane. Brazil's capital, Brasilia, is famous for its futuristic architecture, but fewer people know that its entire urban layout was designed in the shape of an airplane or a bird, depending on whom you ask. Planned by urbanist Lucio Costa and architect Oscar Niemeyer, the city was built in the 1,950 seconds in the middle of the country to promote inland development. From above, the city's wings form residential areas, while the fuselage contains government buildings, ministries, and monumental open spaces. The idea was to create a modern, functional urban environment, though whether it fully succeeded remains debated. What is undeniable is that Brasilia is unlike any other capital in the world in both design and geography. 38. Mount Roraima inspired fiction because of its otherworldly geography. Located on the border of Brazil, Guyana, and Venezuela, Mount Roraima is a tabletop mountain called a tepui, whose sheer vertical cliffs and flat summit inspired stories ranging from indigenous legends to Arthur Conan Doyle's The Lost World. The plateau is often shrouded in mist and has its own isolated ecosystem, complete with bizarre rock formations, carnivorous plants, and species that evolved separately from the world below. Its geological history dates back 2 billion years, making it one of the oldest exposed rock formations on Earth. Hiking to the top is difficult but reveals an environment so alien that it feels like stepping onto another planet. 37. Brazil contains one of the world's largest coral reef systems. North of Salvador and stretching along the coast of Bahia lies the Banco dos Abrolhos, one of the largest coral reef systems in the South Atlantic. Its reefs have a distinctive mushroom shape caused by coral species found nowhere else on Earth. These warm, shallow waters attract humpback whales during breeding season, making the region a hotspot for whale watching. The Abrolhos Archipelago, a protected marine park, is one of Brazil's most important conservation areas, and yet it remains relatively unknown outside of South America despite its global ecological significance. 36. The Serra da Capivara holds some of the oldest human art in the Americas. In Piauí, a semi-arid state with rugged cliffs and red rock canyons, lies Serra da Capivara National Park, home to one of the densest concentrations of prehistoric rock art on Earth. Some cave paintings may date back more than 20,000 years, challenging long-held theories about the timing of human migration into the Americas. The artwork depicts hunting scenes, rituals, and daily life with surprising detail. The park's landscape, rock arches, deep ravines, and eroded sandstone formations adds to its surreal atmosphere, making it both a historical and geographical treasure. 35. The island of Marajó is larger than some countries. Where the Amazon meets the Atlantic lies Marajó Island, the world's largest fluvial island, meaning an island formed by river systems. Marajó is so large that it's bigger than Switzerland. The island experiences a unique phenomenon known as the pororoca, a massive tidal bore that pushes ocean waves upriver, creating surfable waves in muddy Amazonian waters. Marajó is also home to vast water buffalo herds, lagoons, and forests that flood seasonally. The island's geography is a blend of river, sea, and savanna, forming an environment unlike anything else in Brazil. 34. Pico da Neblina is Brazil's highest point, and it's hidden in clouds. Rising 2,995 meters above sea level in the remote northwest Amazon, Pico da Neblina is Brazil's highest mountain. Its name, Peak of the Mist, comes from the cloud cover that cloaks it almost constantly, making it notoriously difficult to reach. The mountain sits inside Yanomami territory, and access is tightly restricted to protect indigenous land. For researchers and adventurers who manage the long, humid trek through dense rainforest, the summit reveals sweeping views over untouched Amazon wilderness. It is one of the least climbed national high points in the world due to its extreme isolation. 33. The Chapada Diamantina hides underground rivers and quartz caves. Located in Bahia, the Chapada Diamantina Plateau is full of dramatic mesas, hidden waterfalls, and caves carved from quartz and limestone. One of the most famous is Poço Azul, an underground pool so clear that visitors floating in it appear suspended in air. The region also includes rock formations that form natural windows looking out over endless valleys and canyons. Historically, the area was the center of Brazil's diamond rush, which shaped its early settlement. Today, the Chapada draws hikers and geologists from around the world for its unique combination of plateaus, sinkholes, and subterranean rivers. 32. The Rio Negro meets the Solimões without mixing. In Manaus, one of Brazil's most mind-bending natural spectacles occurs, the meeting of the waters. For nearly 6 kilometers, the dark, tea-colored Rio Negro flows side by side with the lighter, sandy Solimões River without mixing. The reason lies in density, temperature, and velocity differences. One river is cooler and faster, the other warmer and slower. Eventually, they merge to form the main trunk of the Amazon River, but the long stretch of separated waters looks as if someone drew a boundary between two different worlds. It's a stunning visual representation of the Amazon basin's complex hydrology. 31. Brazil is home to the world's largest quartz crystal geode. In the southern state of Rio Grande do Sul, a mine in the town of Ametista do Sul revealed one of the largest quartz and amethyst geodes ever discovered. Some chambers are large enough to stand inside, with amethyst points lining the walls like purple cathedral spires. The geology of the region is shaped by ancient volcanic activity, which created hollow pockets that later filled with mineral-rich fluids. Over millions of years, these fluids crystallized into the massive geodes for which the region is now famous. Entire chapels have been built using amethyst slabs from these formations, making the town a surreal mix of geology and architecture. 30. Serra do Roncador, a range wrapped in echoes and legends. The Serra do Roncador in Mato Grosso is a rugged chain of cliffs, caves, and sandstone mesas formed from some of Brazil's oldest rock. Strong winds create unusual echoes along the cliffs. Locals say the mountains snore, which inspired the name. Beyond the myths, its geography stands out for hidden waterfalls, narrow gorges, and its isolation deep in central Brazil. 29. Jalapão's desert springs where you can't sink. In Jalapão, the orange dunes and bright blue Ferveduro springs create one of Brazil's most striking contrasts. These springs push water upward through porous sand with such pressure that you float effortlessly on the surface. Surrounded by plateaus and canyons, Jalapão's landscapes feel otherworldly despite being one of the country's least populated regions. 28. The Amazon's floating island network. The Amazon basin contains thousands of river islands, from giants like Marajó to countless seasonal sandbanks and floating vegetated patches. These islands shift with the floods and form natural wildlife corridors, sheltering river dolphins, otters, and migratory birds while shaping the daily lives of river communities. 27. Ancient glacial valleys in southern Brazil. The highlands of Santa Catarina preserve deep valleys and cliffs carved by ancient glaciers millions of years ago. Around Urubici, the basalt canyons and cold climate create landscapes unlike typical tropical Brazil, with frost and rare snowfall blanketing the plateaus in winter. 26. A river that vanishes into underground caves. In Terra Ronca State Park, Goiás, the Lapa River plunges into one of the largest cave systems in South America. Inside, enormous caverns hold stalactites and stalagmites that grow in near-total darkness as the river carves a hidden, winding path before re-emerging downstream. 25. The Itaimbezino Canyon, sheer walls falling into the clouds. Inside Aparados da Serra National Park, the Itaimbezino Canyon cuts through basalt cliffs that drop 700 meters. Waterfalls spill straight off the edge while clouds drift in and out of the narrow chasm. The canyon marks the dramatic meeting of Brazil's southern highlands with the coastal lowlands. 24. The world's largest tropical peatland is in the Amazon. Western Brazil hosts the largest tropical peatland on Earth, a massive carbon store formed by centuries of waterlogged vegetation. These swamp-like plains are difficult to explore and remain one of the least understood ecosystems in the Amazon. 23. The quartz crystal cities of Goiás. In the Serra Geral de Goiás, erosion has exposed huge natural quartz clusters that sparkle across the hills. These crystal-rich formations developed when ancient volcanic activity filled fractures in the rock with mineral-rich fluids that cooled slowly over time. 22. Maranhão's moving coastal sand waves. Near São Luís, fierce Atlantic winds sculpt a belt of continuously shifting dunes. Unlike Lençóis Maranhenses, these dunes sit right on the coast and don't form freshwater lagoons. Instead, they interact with tides and sea breezes to create a perpetually changing sandscape. 21. Serra da Mantiqueira, Brazil's mountain climate maker. The Serra da Mantiqueira rises over 1,600 meters, creating cooler weather zones where pine-like araucaria forests thrive. The range feeds key rivers that supply millions of people in southeastern Brazil and offers some of the country's highest, most scenic viewpoints. 20. Monoliths of the Sertão, older than life on land. The semi-arid Sertão is dotted with isolated granite monoliths, some billions of years old. These massive, rounded formations were sculpted by heat and wind long before plants or animals existed on land, forming one of Brazil's most ancient landscapes. 19. The Serra do Espinhaço, a 1,200-kilometer geological backbone. Stretching from Minas Gerais to Bahia, the Serra do Espinhaço forms a huge ridge that divides river basins and generates waterfalls, quartzite mesas, and high-altitude fields. It was also the center of Brazil's historical gold rush and remains vital for regional water systems. 18. Tropical fjords on Brazil's Costa Verde. Between Sao Paulo and Rio de Janeiro, the Costa Verde hides rare tropical fjord-like inlets where mountains plunge straight into calm bays. Formed by tectonic fractures instead of glaciers, these deep channels create sheltered waters rich in marine life. 17. Vale do Javari, one of Earth's last great wildernesses. The Vale do Javari, larger than Austria, is one of the most remote places on the planet. Its maze of rivers and dense forest hosts the world's highest number of uncontacted indigenous groups, protected in part by its near-impenetrable geography. 16. Serra do Curral, the ridge that shaped a capital. The Serra do Curral forms Belo Horizonte's natural skyline. Its quartzite walls guided early explorers and defined the city's placement. Today, the ridge remains an ecological corridor and a symbol of the region's mining heritage. 15. Itaipu Reservoir, the world's largest hydroelectric lake by area. The Itaipu Reservoir, shared with Paraguay, spans over 1,300 square kilometers, making it the largest hydroelectric reservoir on Earth by surface area. Created along the Paraná River, it transformed the region's geography and now includes extensive wildlife reserves. 14. Rocky Plateaus of Serra do Cipó. Serra do Cipó National Park combines quartzite plateaus, narrow canyons, and high-altitude meadows where rare orchids and carnivorous plants grow. Its rugged terrain acts as the birthplace of several major Brazilian rivers. 13. The Araguaia River's massive island chains. The Araguaia River hosts hundreds of islands, including the enormous Ilha do Bananal. Seasonal floods shape this shifting archipelago, creating nurseries for fish and birds and forming a natural boundary between savanna and rainforest. 12. Table Mountains older than the Amazon in Serra do Pardo. The mesas of Serra do Pardo in Pará are fragments of an ancient plateau that predates the Amazon rainforest. Their isolated summits hold cooler microclimates and distinct plant life, contrasting sharply with the lowland jungle below. 11. The São Francisco Canyon, a hidden northeastern giant. In Alagoas, the São Francisco River carved a dramatic canyon with red sandstone walls rising up to 120 meters. Its emerald waters and layered cliffs make it one of Brazil's largest and most impressive canyons outside the Andes, yet still relatively unknown internationally. Before moving on to the top 10, remember to join the Geography family by subscribing to the channel and leaving your like. 10. The Amazon Reef, a hidden coral system at the mouth of the river. At the point where the Amazon River meets the Atlantic, scientists discovered the Amazon Reef, a massive and unexpected coral system thriving in murky, nutrient-rich waters. Unlike typical reefs, it survives with limited sunlight because of Amazon sediment. Stretching nearly 1,000 kilometers, it is one of the most unusual reef systems on Earth, blending ocean life with the influence of the world's largest river. 9. The Chapada dos Veadeiros has crystals beneath the grasslands. The high plateau of Chapada dos Veadeiros in Goiás sits atop one of Earth's largest quartz crystal beds. This geological foundation affects everything from soil composition to the clarity of its waterfalls. Towering canyons, sharp quartzite ridges, and natural rock pools give the region an almost extraterrestrial look, contrasting with its vast golden savannas. 8. The Amazon has an underground river that mirrors the surface one. Beneath the Amazon River flows the Hamza River, a deep, slow-moving underground stream discovered through thermal data. It moves far below the surface, sometimes at depths of 4,000 meters, and roughly parallels the main river's course for hundreds of kilometers. Though it flows more slowly and is far wider, its existence highlights the Amazon basin's astonishingly complex hydrology. 7. Coastal dunes in Rio Grande do Norte shift entire villages over time. The northeastern state of Rio Grande do Norte hosts enormous migrating dunes that can swallow houses, uncover old structures, and force communities to shift locations every few decades. Driven by constant ocean winds, these dunes move unpredictably, reshaping the coastline and creating a living, moving landscape shaped entirely by natural forces. 6. The Serra do Mar holds one of Earth's last great rainforest walls. The Serra do Mar mountain range forms a nearly continuous wall of Atlantic forest stretching for more than 1,500 kilometers along Brazil's coast. In some areas, the mountains rise sharply from sea level, creating dramatic cliffs and preserving ancient rainforest inaccessible to agriculture. This green barrier shelters thousands of endemic species and protects vital water sources for major cities. 5. The Pantanal's Transpantanera Road turns into a water highway. In the Pantanal, the famous Transpantanera Road becomes semi-submerged during the wet season, turning stretches of it into a shallow waterway. Wooden bridges connect dozens of floodplain zones, and travelers often spot capybaras, caimans, and giant birds directly from the route. It's one of the few places where a simple road gives you front-row access to South America's densest wildlife concentrations. 4. Rio's Sugarloaf Mountain is a single gigantic piece of granite. Pão de Açúcar, Sugarloaf Mountain in Rio de Janeiro is a massive monolithic block of granite and quartz rising abruptly from the ocean. It was shaped by millions of years of erosion that stripped away softer rock, leaving only the toughest material standing. Its nearly vertical sides give Rio one of the world's most recognizable silhouettes, blending dramatic geology with a coastal setting. 3. The Amazon basin contains the planet's largest flooded forest. During the rainy season, enormous portions of the Amazon become the world's biggest seasonally flooded forest, known as várzea. Trees survive months underwater, fish swim among trunks, and entire ecosystems shift vertically. Animals move into the canopy as the forest floor disappears under several meters of water. This cyclical flooding drives nutrient cycles essential to the rainforest's survival. 2. Brazil has the widest river mouth on Earth. Where the Amazon meets the Atlantic, its mouth stretches so wide, up to 325 kilometers when including tidal zones, that the opposite bank is impossible to see. The combination of freshwater discharge, tidal bores, and complex sediment flows makes this the largest river mouth on the planet. It's so powerful that it pushes freshwater far into the ocean, altering salinity for hundreds of kilometers. 1. The Amazon rainforest creates its own weather and helps regulate the planet's. The Amazon rainforest, much of which lies in Brazil, is so vast and biologically active that it creates its own rainfall patterns. Through transpiration, the forest releases billions of liters of water vapor daily, feeding the flying rivers that deliver rain across South America. This self-sustaining hydrological engine influences global climate, stores vast amounts of carbon, and drives weather systems across continents. It's not just a forest, it's one of the planet's most powerful geographical and atmospheric systems. After learning these 50 facts about Brazil, tell us, which one did you like best, or which one surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments. Let's see how many of us chose the same fact. And if you think we've forgotten something or want to add your own interesting tidbit, we'd love to hear it. Your feedback helps us improve each video. Also, if you noticed any pronunciation mistakes, thank you for your patience. We strive to improve with every video. And speaking of videos, there's another one playing right now, so you can continue exploring the geography of our beautiful world. But before you go, don't forget to subscribe and like so we can keep learning together. See you in the next one.